Hey, my friends, Becky Lander here, CEO and co-founder of Modern Direct Seller. I am so happy you're here with me today because I am covering a topic that is hot and relevant that everyone is looking for more information on, which is what in the world is happening with our Facebook groups and why does it matter to me and what should I do in response to these changes that are happening? So sit down, grab your favorite drink because I am diving into all things Facebook groups, what's changing, what's not changing, what you might want to be thinking about doing differently, and how you can stay more relevant than ever and get more engagement than you ever have before without just kind of hiding out inside that Facebook group. So here we go. Let's dive in. So, what is happening to third party apps on our Facebook group? So, what we have learned is that Facebook released an update letting developers know that the access to Facebook groups by third party apps will be discontinued at the end of April. I think it's around April 21st, this is happening. So, what that means is scheduling tools that we all love to death, right? Are tools like Share or Visly or Post My Party, those type of tools, as well as any other third-party apps. Like if you're using Zoom to zoom into your Facebook group, or if you're using any other kind of streaming software, the way that those apps connect into your group will no longer work in the way they do today as of the end of April. So a lot of panic because in the direct sales world, we spend a lot of time in our groups. And many of you have built incredible customer groups. In fact, you probably manage your team out of a Facebook group, as well as hosting parties for our party plan companies out there. That is all happening inside Facebook groups. So with the changes that are coming, there is not going to be a way for your third-party apps to automatically post into your groups. Now, that doesn't mean you can't schedule to your groups because you can using the native Facebook scheduling tool that's available to you on Facebook. The other way that you'll be able to continue to have some level of automation in your business is by getting a push notification that pops up on your phone. So I'm speaking specifically for those scheduling tools that have an app. Share, I know, is one of those tools that has that, where instead of content automatically going from Share into the group, you'll get a little notification over on your phone that's going to say it's 3 o'clock, it's time to go make that post in your group. And with one click, you'll click and it will go into your group. So there's some nice workarounds that are going to be available, but let's be real. For those of us that live and breathe our scheduling tools to streamline our business, to automate our business, and to stay consistent, this is kind of a bummer, right? It is. Let's just say it how it is. It's kind of a bummer. We've invested a lot of time and energy in developing communities on Facebook, and this is going to require some extra manual work in order to maintain the same level of consistency to post into those groups. So not only that, but I think most of us that have been watching some of the changes that are happening over on Facebook, and I mean, this isn't the first time we've gone through this process, things like this change all the time. But the thing that we've noticed is that engagement and visibility of Facebook groups seems to be on the decline. So if you remember the good old days, you go create a group, maybe you're having a party there, everyone would join it, everyone gets your notifications, everyone sees your posts. Those days are long gone. We are struggling to get that engagement and to get seen in the content that we're sharing into our group. So that was kind of indicator number one, that something was happening over with groups. And then the second one now being that the third-party apps are just not going to be able to post there anymore. And that's again, it's no fun. That's a bummer, right? So there's kind of two indicators there showing that Facebook is not prioritizing development or investing in new tools and new things coming to groups, right? So the visibility is down, the access is getting cut off. Now, are groups going away? No, they are not going away. You still are going to have a group as of the end of April. You're just going to have to manually post it to that group or schedule using the Facebook app. So, with that said, everyone's kind of asking now, all right, so these changes are happening. I understand what I can do and what I can't do. And I now know why this matters to me. But what else should I be doing to protect my direct sales business that I've worked so hard to create? And I spent a lot of time investing into the group. So, what I thought would be helpful today is to share with you 5 strategies to stay more relevant than you ever have before, to get more engagement, and to get out there meaning out of your group, and sharing the amazing content that you're creating with the world. Because here's the deal, as much as I love groups, and I'm right there with you, I have a group of over 13,000 people, and I love that group. Those are my people. That's my community. That's my safe spot to go and share all things direct sales because I know they want to be there. And I've also been reluctant to go kind of put that out for the world to see. But this is our friendly nudge from the universe telling us, okay, you've had a great time in that group. And now I'm going to push you a little outside of your comfort zone, and we're going to need to do a little bit more. And by more, I mean we're going to be doing a little bit more publicly, right? So here's the thing, when we're creating content on social and posting into our Facebook group, we're only sharing that with a small subset of people that likely are already your customers. So those are great people. We love our customers. We want repeat customers. We want to create a community for them. We want to love on them. But what we need more in 2024 here in direct sales is new leads, new customers, new hosts, new teammates. We got to get ourselves out there a bit more. So the joy of sharing public content is one, it's shareable, right? I post something really cool, you love it, you tag your biz bestie, right? I share a product that I absolutely love, you tag your neighbor and your mom and you tell them they've got to go check it out, right? So there's this factor of shareability when we're sharing publicly. In fact, if I really love your post, I'm going to click that share button and I'm going to tell my network about it as well, right? So the other piece of posting publicly is that it is more discoverable. So what that means is I can get tagged on something and see something. I may see something pop up in my feed that I had never seen before, right? So you have that discoverability that somebody might just run across your content. Maybe they're searching for something or Googling for something, or maybe they're just scrolling and your content might pop up. So it becomes shareable content and also discoverable content. So when we're in our closed group, we can't do that. So getting outside of our group is our opportunity to be a bit more public about our content. So where can we post publicly? Let's talk about this for a minute, right? You have a personal profile, or maybe you flipped it over on Facebook to that professional mode. You have a personal or professional profile. You can share publicly there. You may have to alter your settings a little bit so it's not just going to your friends, but you can share that content publicly. You may have a business page. A Facebook business page is also a public platform. You may be sharing in your stories or in your reels for people to see content a bit more publicly. And then there's this whole world off of Facebook, right? We have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Pinterest, we have LinkedIn. We have so many other places that we can go and share our content in a public way to just get us a little bit outside of that comfort zone of the group that we've spent a lot of time in. So this is a great time to start thinking about what platforms you're leveraging. What tools on those platforms are you leveraging? Are you using video or using stories? Of course, a lot of us are sending messages in the direct messages, right? You have a personal profile. So you can think about where you can share your content a bit more publicly that maybe you haven't done before. So let's get to it, right? 5 ways to really expand your reach, get more engagement, get more visibility, and start stepping outside of that Facebook group. So strategy number 1 is sharing a bit more business content on your personal or professional profile on Facebook. So I think this is a great opportunity to talk a little bit more business. And for a long time, that was a no-no. Like, don't post anything publicly unless it's super duper important. But you know what? We still are going to show up and share our lifestyle content and really fun content for people to see. And we're going to engage with people and post our personal photos. But sprinkling in a little bit of business content here and there is going to serve you well. You probably have not talked to every single person that you are friends with or that are following you on Facebook. This gives you a platform to do that. So I want to encourage you, maybe step out of your comfort zone at least a couple times a week. Start sprinkling in that business content on your personal or professional profile and see what happens. Okay, strategy number two, I want you to think about expanding your reach. So again, Facebook's a great place to hang out. If you're hanging out on Facebook, if you've never tried Instagram, let's go try that next, right? Or, okay, maybe you hang out a lot on Facebook, but you're not utilizing your Facebook stories. Let's go try stories next. Or maybe you're hanging out both on Facebook and Instagram, but you've never done a reel or a live video. Okay, let's try those ways of connecting in with our audience. So I don't want you to try all of them at once because that can feel pretty overwhelming, but pick one area that you think, okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to show up in a new way or on a new platform that I have not leveraged in the past. All right, so number three, I want to challenge you on this one. If you are part of a party plan company and you've been running your parties exclusively inside of groups, I want you to test running them outside of groups. Now, I know this one can feel really intimidating, but I'm going to tell you, your hosts are going to help you out with this. Let them know, hey, I have a new way of partying and I would love for you to give it a test drive with me. Are you open to that? Try running that party on your Facebook business page. You could also try it on their personal profile or your personal or professional profile as well. You could even try running it essentially in the stories and let them tag people in and have those links back to shop. So I want to challenge you just to think a little bit different about your parties and test what that looks like in running your parties outside of your group. You may love it, you may hate it, right? But this is a great way just to try something new, mix something up. I do a lot of training on not just your traditional Facebook party, but we talk a lot inside our Modern Direct Seller Academy about running a party and a post, which would be one single post and then all the action being in the comments of that post. That's a great one to try on a personal or professional profile, right? Because you're getting a one post, lots of action happening. I also do a lot of training about a scroll and shop, which essentially would be a landing page that you throw up. You invite your guests to it. They go to that page and they get all the information on demand. Now, the key for all of these parties to work for you is one, you need an RSVP process. So you need a form or something that they fill out to send in their RSVP. Consider it old school, like you're getting invited to a wedding and you're extending an invitation. They need to RSVP to unlock access or know where to go to participate in that party. That's going to give you their contact information. So as the direct seller out there, you can connect in with that lead directly, no matter what happens during the party, no matter what posts they see or they don't see, or if they show up or if they don't. That is your host handing over a brand new lead to you. So I really want to encourage you to really enforce a RSVP policy for your events that you're doing. You're putting a lot of work into these. You got to make sure that you're coming out of it with some good leads to nurture, if not a ton of sales, right? The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is to make sure, no matter what party platform you are using and where you decide to run your parties, that you're having a direct conversation with every single party guest. That is your job. Yes, you need to send them a message, guide them through the party, offer personalized solutions. For all you know, they might not be interested in your party and they just want to go shop and they just need a list of things that you recommend to them, right? So have that conversation, have that dialogue, build that relationship with every single party guest and use that as a way to redirect them back to where the party is happening if they want to participate in the party in that way. All right, moving on to number 4. You've heard this for a few years now, but I'm going to tell you again, creating short form content, meaning reels or TikToks, YouTube shorts, is the best type of content to have a reach outside of your network, right? So as you're thinking about the content or the strategies that you're deploying in your business, you've got to get into some video content. The shorter, the better. I know we got to keep people's attention spans short and sweet, but definitely build that into your content strategy. If you've never done a reel, if you've never done a YouTube short or a TikTok, I'm telling you, there's not that much to it. You can do it. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have transitions. You don't even have to show your face if you don't want to. But that's going to be a great way to create that shareable and discoverable content that's really going to engage your audience. All right, number 5. When we think about our Facebook group and we think about some of the things that might be changing on Facebook, I want you to safe-proof your business. So one of the ways to do that is to make sure that you have direct contact information with the people that are in your group. All right. So I'm talking, I want you to have an email address. I want you to have a phone number that you can text somebody. And I also want you to take it a step further and invite some of those people that have been hanging out in your group to follow you on your public channels. That might be inviting them to follow you over on Instagram. That might be asking them to follow your business page, maybe even your personal or professional profile. Because the more you're sharing content outside of your group, we want to make sure that these people don't get left behind. We want to bring them with us on this journey. So think about adding them as a friend, inviting them to follow you, and staying closely connected, making sure you have their direct contact information for anyone that has been hanging out in that Facebook group. Okay, the next question I've been getting a lot of is, okay, Becky, so what are you guys doing about all these changes, right? Like, how does this factor in for your business? How are you going to have things play out? So here's the thing. I am not getting rid of my Facebook group. I have 13,000 engaged fans that are hanging out in my group. I am not going to abandon them. I am not going to close up that group. I am going to keep content posting to that group. I'm going to use those push notifications through ThinkShare to stay connected in that group. But I'm also going to do a couple other things, right? So I'm going to keep my group alive and well for as long as it's going to ride out. Like, I'm going to be right there with it. But I'm also going to try some things differently. So we have a spring challenge coming up, something we do every single year, our Modern Direct Seller Challenge that's happening in March. We're going to run that on our Facebook business page. And part of me, like, kind of isn't sure how this is going to go. But the other part of me is like, oh my gosh, I may have more reach than I've ever had before because a leader can tag a teammate in that post and it becomes shareable and discoverable, right? So we're going to try some things a little bit different and see how things shake out. We're also going to continue creating short form video content. So that's not changing in our strategy, but I am going to be really intentional to make sure that those are being shared in all the places. I'm a huge fan of repurposing content. And most of you don't know that because you're not following me that closely, but the same things I'm posting over here, I'm repurposing and using over there and vice versa. One of the things that I love is ThinkShare has been my preferred tool for scheduling for years. And I have a huge content bank that I can recycle and reuse in just a couple of clicks. So we're going to continue to do that. We'll probably amp up our engagement a little bit more on our Facebook business page and be a bit more proactive with what we're sharing over on Instagram as well. But like I said, my group is there. It's alive and well. We're going to continue posting to it and sharing things to it, but we're going to use that share button a little bit more. So you're going to notice if you're hanging out over in my Facebook group, there's going to be more share buttons where things are going from my personal profile into my group or from my business page into my group. That's actually how we run our weekly Make Money Mondays. I stream those on Vimeo to my business page and personal profile and YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram. And I take those on Facebook and then I just click that share button and share them into the groups that I manage as well. So still planning on sticking to that strategy. And the other thing that we're doing, as always, is we're watching and we're learning. We're seeing what happens. I'm watching things that get really great engagement and seeing what they did and how they tried to do things differently. And maybe things that are flopping and saying, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to try it this way. So it's a little bit of a trial and error, right? But we're putting ourselves out there. We're making things more public than we ever have before. And the other thing that we're doing is we're continuing to build out and support our users of Oh My Hi, our fill in the blank website platform. We're adding more bells and whistles and features over there. So you can bring in those new leads on your own landing page, grab that contact information, nurture those leads, run scroll and shop parties there, and use that as a tool to diversify and show up beyond just what you're doing over on social media. The other thing we're doing is for our Modern Direct Seller Academy members, we have introduced a brand new monthly social selling action plan. This is something brand new that's coming out every single month that's giving you what to post about, what to share, also what to say. Because this is where we have a little bit of a disconnect. Sometimes we do a really good job of sharing content, but what we need to do is engage back in the comments and then move it to a one-to-one message to nurture that relationship and connect with people. So that social selling action plan is giving you exactly what to share, what to say, and what to try every single month. We're super excited to bring that to our Academy members. And then we're also delivering similar content to our corporate clients. We're helping them create social boot camps and challenges that encourage their direct sellers to try new things and step outside their comfort zone one step at a time and making it easy and fun. And so even if you've really kind of grown up having your Facebook group as the hub of what you're doing, helping you build confidence to step out beyond that. And along with that, many of our corporate clients are also revisiting their policies and looking at what happens in groups and what can be shared more publicly. And so a lot of those policy changes are coming down the pipe as well with some of these changes that are happening over on Facebook. So I hope that this training was incredibly helpful for you. I hope it was actionable. I hope you have a couple of takeaways of things that you can do in your business right away to get a little bit ahead of some of these changes that are coming over on Facebook. Again, you're still going to be able to schedule natively with the app. You're going to get that push notification if you're using a third-party scheduling tool. But the bigger picture is that Facebook groups are losing the same kind of mojo they had before, right? So we know that we need to get out there. We need to share content a bit more publicly. And as direct sellers, we need to build confidence in doing that because I know y'all aren't social media managers, right? So it's looking for the easy button and thinking about how you can build your business without being reliant on that Facebook group that you've created. So if you have questions, please let me know. I'd love to connect with you. If you're new around here, you can find me over on Instagram at Modern Direct Seller. I would love to hear from you. And definitely feel free to share this video with your team, your biz besties, your home office team, as you are taking steps to get ready for some of these updates and changes happening over on Facebook. All right, friends, I hope you have a great day today. I will talk to you soon. Take care.